Imagine getting to work by being personally shot through a city-wide network of giant vacuum tubes, arriving with a gentle hiss. Your daily news update might be chirped to you by a meticulously crafted brass songbird automaton that lands on your windowsill each morning. Entire cities in this world are huddled inside colossal man-made geothermal vents, constantly wreathed in steam and smelling faintly of sulfur. Forget tanks. Armies clash with walking. Steam-belching fortresses so large they carry their own blacksmiths and kitchens. And if you wanted to know the weather forecast, well, you'd look up at the giant city-sized mechanical weavers, vast contraptions of gears and steam jets trying to literally wrestle the clouds into submission. Number 11. These giant steam contraptions try to boss the clouds around. Picture this towering over your city, not skyscrapers of glass and steel, but colossal skeletal frameworks of iron and brass, bristling with nozzles, gigantic fans and bellows large enough to inflate a small airship. These are the mechanical weather weavers, monumental testimonies to the belief that even the heavens can be engineered with enough steam and ingenuity. Each city with any pride and a significant budget for coal and water boasts its own weaver, a source of civic pride and, quite often, considerable atmospheric anxiety. Their operation is a spectacle. With the coordinated effort of dozens of aeromancers and boiler technicians, specific sequences are initiated. Enormous jets release precisely measured bursts of superheated steam high into the atmosphere, attempting to seed clouds or disperse fog. Other sections might belch out carefully formulated chemical powders. Some say refined soot. Others whisper of more exotic, alchemically derived compounds intended to encourage or discourage precipitation. The sound is a constant, low rumble, punctuated by deafening hisses and the groan of massive gears turning the fans to redirect air currents. The effectiveness of these weavers is a hotly debated topic in every pub and parlor. One week, the weaver might successfully divert a hailstorm, earning its engineers city-wide parades. The next, an attempt to conjure a gentle spring shower for the agricultural fair might result in a localized week-long torrential downpour flooding the lower districts. Rival cities often accuse each other of atmospheric piracy, blaming a weaver upstream for stealing their rain, or, worse, deliberately sending unpleasant gales their way. Guilds of weaverites hold secretive conclaves, sharing, or jealously guarding, their recipes for particular weather effects. A certain steam pressure, combined with a specific dispersal pattern for light morning mist, or a furious sustained blast to break up summer heat inversions. Despite their unpredictable nature, and the occasional spectacular failure, like the great choking smog of '72 when the Coventry Weaver malfunctioned during a dust dispersal trial, citizens largely look upon their weavers with a mixture of awe and grudging acceptance. After all, in a world powered by the ceaseless churn of steam, why shouldn't the very sky itself be subject to the same mechanical will? The air around a weaver often carries a unique metallic tang, mixed with the scent of damp earth and hot oil, a constant reminder of humanity's ambitious, if sometimes clumsy, dialogue with the elements. Number 10. Forget cars. These people live on actual sky cities, held up by steam. Imagine looking up not just at clouds, but at vast island-like structures drifting serenely across the sky, their undersides a complex latticework of pipes, gears, and enormous, slowly rotating propellers. These are the aerial steam flotillas, moving settlements powered by colossal, coal-hungry boilers that generate the immense lift required. Some are primarily trading posts, following established sky currents between major, land-based metropolises, their decks bustling with merchants hawking exotic goods sourced from distant cloud ports. Others are opulent luxury liners, offering unparalleled views and a gentle swaying existence to the extremely wealthy, complete with hanging gardens and steam-powered orchestras. And then there are the more mysterious self-sufficient flotillas, rumored to have been airborne for generations, their inhabitants developing unique customs and an almost mythical status among ground dwellers. The science behind their lift is a closely guarded secret of the aeronaut guilds, involving not just superheated steam directed through intricate vent systems, but also whispers of lighter-than-air gas cells filled with etheric vapor, a byproduct of high-pressure steam reactions. Life aboard a flotilla is a world unto itself. Constant thrum of the engines is a background hum to daily existence, and the air is perpetually tinged with the smell of coal smoke and hot metal. Guy farmers cultivate specialized hardy crops in sheltered transparent pie domes, while condensation collectors manage vast arrays of sails and fins designed to harvest water directly from the clouds. Navigation is an art, relying on keen observation of wind patterns, celestial bodies, and the newly emerging science of aerocartography. The largest flotillas are veritable cities, with their own governance, marketplaces, entertainment districts, featuring daring trapeze artists swinging between mooring masts and even small steam-powered manufactories. Of course, the dangers are ever present. Violent storms can toss even the largest flotilla about like a toy, requiring all hands to secure equipment and adjust ballast. Engine failure is a terrifying prospect, leading to a slow, controlled, or sometimes not so controlled, descent. And then there are the sky barnacles, daring stowaways or pirates who attempt to latch onto the underbellies of less well-defended flotillas. Despite the risks, the allure of the sky cities remains potent, a symbol of freedom and the boundless potential of steam to conquer even the airy realms. Number 9. Your laptop is a toy compared to these building steam brains. Step into the hallowed halls of a calculation abbey or a governmental tabulation department, and you'll be met with a deafening symphony of rhythmic, clanking, hissing steam and the whir of countless spinning gears. This is the sound of a colossal hydraulic calculator at work, a room-sized, sometimes even building-sized, mechanical brain. These are the direct descendants of Babbage's wildest dreams, scaled up to an almost unimaginable degree, and powered not by delicate clockwork alone, but by precisely controlled hydraulic systems driven by dedicated steam engines. Think of thousands upon thousands of gleaming brass and steel rods, cams, levers, and difference wheels, all interconnected with a mind-boggling complexity, performing calculations that would take armies of human scribes years to complete. These magnificent engines are the bedrock of national censuses, the architects of complex railway schedules, the praetors of astronomical events, and the silent designers of the grand bridges and aqueducts that span the empire. To program one of these behemoths is a laborious task, involving teams of analytical engineers and gear setters who physically reconfigure rows of input levers, adjust gear ratios, and feed stacks of perforated cards, dictating the sequence of operations. The air within these calculation halls is thick with the smell of hot oil, steam, and the faint metallic scent of abraded brass. The heat generated is immense, requiring elaborate ventilation systems, often incorporating steam-powered fans themselves. Specialized mechanics, akin to priests tending a sacred idol, constantly patrol the intricate workings, lubricating joints, replacing worn components, and listening for the telltale discordant clang that signals a miscalculation or a stuck mechanism. Output is typically printed onto vast scrolls of paper by integrated steam-driven presses, or sometimes displayed on enormous boards with mechanically flipping number tiles. While undeniably powerful, these calculators are not without their quirks. A slight impurity in the hydraulic fluid, a misaligned gear, or even a sudden change in ambient temperature can throw off calculations, leading to weeks of painstaking bedagen. Yet, these massive, ponderous, steam-driven intellects represent the pinnacle of information processing in this age, a testament to the power of pure mechanics to wrestle with the complexities of numbers and logic, one chugging, hissing cycle at a time. Number 8. Doctors in this timeline look like steampunk deep-sea divers to fight germs. When a physician or a sanitation officer is called to a quarantine district or to investigate a mysterious ailment, they don't arrive in simple white coats. Instead, they emerge often from a specially sealed steam carriage, looking like figures from the deepest oceans or a fantastical forge. These are the wearers of pressurized ward suits, a vital piece of medical technology in an age where the miasma theory of disease, the idea that illness is spread by bad air, still holds considerable sway alongside newer, more specific germ theories. Each suit is a self-contained environment, a marvel of miniature steam engineering and filtration. Compact, highly efficient boiler, often worn on the back like a diver's tank, generates a steady supply of low-pressure steam. This steam serves multiple purposes. It powers a small turbine that drives a pump, maintaining positive air pressure within the suit to prevent outside air from seeping in. It also helps to warm and humidify the filtered air breathed by the wearer. The air intake, usually a prominent grill on the helmet, passes atmosphere through a series of ingenious filters, layers of fine charcoal, water traps where air is bubbled through treated liquids, and sometimes even finely woven asbestos meshes, the dangers of which are not yet fully understood. The suit itself is constructed from multiple layers of rubberized canvas, treated leather, and reinforced with brass or copper plating at critical points. The helmet is a heavy riveted affair with thick glass or quartz viewing ports, often with built-in wipers powered by tiny pneumatic actuators to clear condensation or grime. Communication is typically achieved by shouting or via a speaking tube that can be temporarily attached to an external port. Movement in these suits is cumbersome, and visibility is limited, requiring the medic to move with deliberate, careful steps. Constant hissing of steam valves, the gurgle of the water filters, and the rhythmic chuff of the air pump are the wearer's constant companions. Each suit requires a dedicated suit attendant to help with donning and doffing the heavy apparatus, to monitor the boiler's fuel and water levels, and to assist with delicate tasks the gloved hands of the medic cannot perform. While intimidating and unwieldy, these pressurized ward suits allow medical professionals to venture into the most hazardous environments, offering a tangible barrier against unseen dangers, all thanks to the protective embrace of steam and ingenious mechanics. Number 7. Your horse-drawn carriage just got a brain, and it runs on steam. Imagine summoning your transport not by whistling for a cab, but by setting a series of dials on a polished brass panel. A few moments later, a gleaming enclosed carriage, smaller and more nimble than the grand steam coaches, pulls up to your curb with a gentle hiss of steam and the quiet ticking of internal mechanisms. This is a personalized steam carriage equipped with a rudimentary difference engine navigator. These carriages are the height of sophisticated personal transport for the affluent city dweller or the busy merchant, while still relying on a compact high-efficiency steam boiler for locomotion, often burning refined oil or patent smokeless coal briquettes for cleaner urban operation. Their true marvel lies in their guidance systems. Nestled within the carriage, often under the driver's, or in this case supervisor's seat, is a miniaturized Babbage-style difference engine. This intricate assembly of gears, levers, and pegged cylinders is pre-programmed with detailed route maps of the city, stored on interchangeable sets of brass punch cards or metallic drums. To set a destination, the owner or their attendant inputs coordinates or a preset location code using a series of rotary dials or lever arrays on the control console. The difference engine then whirs into life, its gears calculating the most efficient path, taking into account known road closures, updated daily by inserting new instruction cards, one-way systems, and even preset scenic preferences. This mechanical brain then communicates with the carriage's steam throttle steering mechanism, often a tiller or a small wheel connected to geared servomotors, and braking system through a complex series of pneumatic tubes and mechanical linkages. The ride is surprisingly smooth, as the engine constantly adjusts steam pressure for optimal speed and minimal jolting. Of course, these early autonomous systems are not infallible. Calculation errors are not uncommon, sometimes leading the carriage on an unexpected, albeit often picturesque, detour through unfamiliar back alleys. A sudden obstacle not accounted for in its map data, a fallen delivery cart for instance, can confuse the navigator, requiring the human supervisor to temporarily take manual control. Maintenance is a constant affair, requiring skilled automotive mechanists to tune the delicate difference engines and keep the steam plant in perfect order. Despite these quirks, these intelligent carriages represent a leap towards automated convenience, a world where your journey is calculated and executed by the precise, tireless logic of steam-powered clockwork. Number 6. Forget movies. These theaters use steam and gears to create live 3D stories. The lights dim in the grand auditorium, not to the hum of a projector, but to the sound of distant, powerful hissing and the rhythmic clanking of immense machinery coming to life behind the ornate proscenium arch. Welcome to the kinetic projection theater, the most popular form of immersive storytelling in an age without celluloid film. What unfolds on stage is not a mere play, nor a simple magic lantern show, but a breathtaking spectacle of moving, three-dimensional scenes created through an astonishingly complex interplay of steam power, intricate clockwork, precision optics, and artistic ingenuity. Vast, multi-layered dioramas painted with exquisite detail glide and reconfigure silently, or sometimes with dramatic mechanical groans, on steam-driven tracks and hydraulic lifts. Characters, often articulated puppets of remarkable lifelikeness or cleverly silhouetted figures, move across these shifting landscapes, their actions governed by thousands of precisely cut cans, levers, and gear trains, all synchronized by a master control system that resembles the bridge of a land ship. Projection aspect comes from powerful steam-generated arc lamps. Their intense beams, focused and shaped by enormous hand-ground lenses and arrays of polished mirrors. These lights play across the scenes, creating dramatic shadows, highlighting specific actions, and even simulating weather effects like lightning with quick flashing shutters, or fog with carefully vented steam. Colored glass filters, rotated into place by delicate pneumatic actuators, bathe the stage in hues appropriate to the mood of the narrative: fiery reds for a battle scene, serene blues for a moonlit tryst. The stories themselves range from epic historical sagas and thrilling adventures in exotic lands to romantic tales and comedic farces. An entire industry of kineticists, scenwrights, and automata articulators designs and builds these incredible productions. Behind the scenes is a veritable factory floor of roaring boilers, hissing pistons, and armies of technicians oiling gears, adjusting linkages, and feeding coal into the hungry maws of the steam engines that power the entire spectacle. Breakdowns are, of course, an occasional hazard. A hero might get stuck mid-stride, or a simulated ocean wave might refuse to recede. But when it all works, the kinetic projection theater offers an unparalleled sensory experience, a mechanical dreamscape brought to life by the sheer force of steam and human imagination, captivating audiences with its tangible, whirring, clanking magic. Number 5. These aren't tanks. They're walking, steam-belching fortresses. The ground trembles long before they come into view. A rhythmic, earth-shattering thud, accompanied by the roar of multiple straining steam engines and the screech of tortured metal, announces the approach of an armored land leviathan. These are not sleek, fast-moving tanks. They are colossal, multi-story mobile fortresses, the undisputed kings of the battlefield, born from a world that took the concept of the ironclad warship and gave it legs, or sometimes immense articulated track systems. clad in inches-thick riveted iron and steel plates, a land leviathan bristles with armaments. Quick-firing, steam-assisted Gatling guns peer from armored casemates, while larger-caliber, breech-loading cannons, their recoil absorbed by massive hydraulic buffers, are mounted in rotating turrets, often powered by their own dedicated steam donkey engines. Some designs even feature fearsome steam projectors capable of spewing jets of scalding water and superheated steam at enemy formations. Powering these behemoths are several enormous high-pressure steam boilers, each tended by a grimy, sweating team of stokers and engineers deep within the machine's belly. The heat is intense, the noise deafening. Locomotion is achieved either through immensely powerful geared legs, making the Leviathan a walker, or via incredibly wide and robust track systems, each segment a masterpiece of heavy engineering. Steering is a monumental task, often requiring a dedicated helm station and multiple crew members wrestling with steam-assisted tillers and gear selectors. A full crew for a land Leviathan can number in the dozens, sometimes over 100, including gunners, loaders, engineers, navigators, who peer through narrow vision slits or complex periscope systems, a commander, and even cooks and mechanics to perform on-the-move repairs. Their speed is ponderous, rarely exceeding a brisk walking pace, but their psychological impact is immense. The sight of one of these smoke-belching, steam-hissing, ground-shaking titans lumbering across the landscape, its guns blazing, is enough to break the morale of even the most seasoned troops. They are symbols of industrial might and military dominance, hugely expensive to build and maintain, and a terrifying embodiment of steam power turned to the art of war. Their vulnerabilities lie in their slow speed, making them targets for concentrated artillery if the enemy has anything big enough, or daring sabotage by infantry managing to get close enough to attack joints or ventilation. Number 4. Some cities in this world are built inside actual artificial volcanoes. Forget quaint village greens or sprawling urban grids laid out on flat plains. Imagine instead a city nestled within the vast, steamy confines of a colossal man-made caldera, its structures clinging to terraced slopes that descend towards a central roaring plume of geothermal energy. These are the geothermal steam bore cities, testament to an audacious feat of engineering where entire communities are built directly around and powered by harnessed volcanic life force. Process begins with the selection of a geologically promising area, followed by the monumental task of drilling a massive bore deep into the Earth's crust, tapping into superheated water and steam reservoirs far below. This primary vent, often hundreds of feet wide, becomes the literal and metaphorical heart of the city. Its raw, untamed steam is then carefully channeled through a complex network of enormous, heavily insulated pipes, branching off to power everything from civic heating and industrial forges to the steam-driven dynamos that provide rudimentary electric lighting to the wealthier districts. Architecture in a steam bore city is unique, dictated by the environment. Buildings are often constructed from volcanic rock, specially treated ceramics, and corrosion-resistant alloys to withstand the constant humidity, heat, and mineral-rich steam. Tiers and levels are common, connected by clanking, steam-powered funiculars and enclosed walkways. The air is perpetually warm, thick with a scent of sulfur, hot metal, and damp earth, and a fine mist often hangs over the lower levels. Life here revolves around the great bore. Vent wardens and pipe wrights are crucial professions, constantly monitoring pressures, repairing conduits, and ensuring the stable flow of energy. Specialized industries thrive, such as mineral extraction from geothermal deposits or hothouse agriculture that takes advantage of the endless warmth and moisture. One of the most striking features is the sky cap, a massive, often domed or louvered structure built over the central bore. designed to manage the release of excess steam and pressure, sometimes incorporating intricate systems to condense and reclaim water. Living in a steam-bore city means accepting a life constantly intertwined with the raw power of the earth. A noisy, steamy, but undeniably energetic existence, where the planet's own internal engine fuels every aspect of civilization. Number 3. Forget Wi-Fi. They send messages through the air using steam-pelted aether beams. On prominent hilltops towering above city skylines or standing as solitary sentinels in remote mountain passes, you'll find them, the etheric telegraphy towers. These are not elegant radio masts, but rather colossal, somewhat ungainly structures of riveted iron, intricate brasswork, and enormous burnished copper parabolic dishes, often swiveling slowly with a groan of powerful gears. This is the backbone of long-distance communication, a system built on the prevailing and hotly debated scientific theory of a pervasive luminiferous aether that fills all space. Principle as understood by the etheric engineers is that highly energized steam, when passed through specially designed resonant chambers filled with exotic crystals and magnetic coils, can generate focused disturbances or waves in this aether. These etheric waves, modulated by complex steam-driven interrupters, akin to telegraph keys but far larger and more robust, can then be directed by the great parabolic reflectors towards a receiving tower. Operating an etheric telegraph is a skilled and often perilous art. Aethermincers, or signal rights, work in heavily shielded control rooms near the base of the towers, surrounded by arrays of pressure gauges, steam regulators, and etheric tuners, delicate instruments with quivering needles that supposedly indicate the quality and strength of the etheric beam. The process of sending a message involves carefully building up steam pressure to precise levels, aligning the massive dish with pinpoint accuracy, often using complex gear trains and optical sighting devices, and then keying out the message in a modified Morse-like code, each pulse sending a surge of energy through the resonant chamber and out into the aether. Reception is equally challenging, requiring the receiving dish to be perfectly aligned and the receiver tuned to the specific frequency and modulation of the incoming signal. The system is notoriously temperamental. Atmospheric conditions, solar flares, or what are termed etheric storms, and even large flocks of birds can interfere with transmissions. Messages are often garbled or arrive incomplete, requiring frequent retransmissions. Despite its limitations, the etheric telegraphy network is vital for government communiques, military dispatches, and the rapid dissemination of news, across vast distances, a monumental, hissing, crackling testament to the ambition to conquer distance with steam and a belief in unseen energies. Number 2. Your best friend might be a ticking, whirring robot butler made of brass. Imagine a distinguished 3-foot-tall figure gliding silently into your drawing room, its polished brass chassis gleaming in the gaslight. It offers you a perfectly brewed cup of tea with a gentle whir of internal gears and a soft hiss from a miniature steam valve. This is a clockwork companion, one of the marvels of the age, a sophisticated automaton that blurs the line between machine and servant or even friend. These companions are not crude clanking robots, but rather intricate masterpieces of mechanical engineering, powered by a combination of tightly wound high-tensile springs, requiring regular winding with a large key, and, in the more advanced models, tiny, hyper-efficient steam engines for more sustained power or heavier tasks. Their brains consist of incredibly complex arrangements of cams, levers, and pegged cylinders similar to those found in advanced musical boxes or rudimentary difference engines, allowing them to perform a wide range of pre-programmed tasks and even respond to simple verbal commands via sound-activated pneumatic triggers or coded whistles. You might find a valet matin meticulously brushing down your coat and laying out your evening attire, its multi-jointed limbs moving with surprising grace. or perhaps a culinary assistant cog in the kitchen, precisely chopping vegetables or stirring a pot with tireless consistency. Public spaces are also populated by these mechanical beings. Information kiosk boats in railway stations might offer directions or timetables. Their voices, produced by miniature bellows and reed systems, clear and precise. Some wealthy individuals even commission bespoke clockwork pets, metallic dogs that walk on spring-loaded legs and emit soft barking sounds, or brass songbirds that chirp preset melodies from their cages. Maintenance is, of course, crucial. Clockwork companions require regular oiling, spring winding, and occasional decoking of their miniature steam systems by specialized automatonic engineers. They are prone to charming, if sometimes inconvenient, quirks. A butler bot might develop a slight list to one side after a few years, or a news-reading automaton might occasionally get stuck repeating the same headline with increasing urgency. Despite these eccentricities, clockwork companions are an integral part of life for many tireless workers and symbols of status, embodying the era's fascination with intricate mechanisms and the dream of creating artificial life to the precise ballet of gears and steam. Number 1. You don't take the subway. You get sucked through a giant tube system to work. Forget crowded trains or traffic-clogged streets. In the major metropolises of this steam-driven world, the ultimate in rapid personal transit is the pneumatic citizen network. Imagine vast subterranean, and sometimes elevated, snaking between buildings, networks of large diameter tubes crafted from reinforced cast iron or specially treated composites. Within these tubes, individual, comfortably appointed cylindrical pods, just large enough for 1 or 2 people, are propelled at considerable speeds by carefully controlled air pressure and vacuum. To begin your journey, you'd enter a local pneumatic dispatch station, often an ornate brass and iron structure humming with the distant thrum of massive steam-powered air pumps. You select your destination on a large mechanical dispatcher board, step into your assigned pod, and secure the airtight hatch. With a satisfying clunk and a brief, powerful whoosh, your pod is drawn into the main tube by a partial vacuum created by distant steam engines, or propelled forward by a surge of compressed air from behind. The journey itself is a smooth, surprisingly quiet glide through the darkness of the tubes, punctuated by the occasional sigh of pressure equalizers or the subtle rumble of your pod passing through complex junctions and switching stations. These junctions are marvels of engineering, where sections of tube rotate or slide to direct pods onto different lines, all controlled by intricate clockwork mechanisms linked to the central dispatch computers, which are of course themselves vast Babbage-style analytical engines. Travel times across sprawling cities are drastically reduced, allowing for a level of urban mobility previously undreamt of. The system is not without its peculiarities. Each tube line often develops its own distinct ambient smell. The city loop might carry a faint aroma of coal smoke and ozone from the central pumping stations, while the line out to the seaside resorts might have a briny tang. Suckages, though rare, can occur, requiring 2 cliché engineers to be dispatched in specialized maintenance pods to retrieve the stranded capsule. Despite these minor inconveniences, the pneumatic citizen network is a defining feature of urban life, a testament to the era's belief in grand centralized infrastructure and the versatile power of steam to reshape not just industry, but the very way people move through their world.